Right now, somewhere in your Google Ads account, money is leaving every single day. And if you're like most advertisers, about half of it is being set on fire. Not because your budget's too big, not because your budget is too small. It's because nobody ever showed you how the right number is actually built. So you pick the one that feels safe, cross your fingers and hoped. The thing is there is a right number for you. A bracket at least, built from your industry, your click prices, and one decision that almost nobody gets right in month one. Once you see how it's built, you stop guessing with your business's money and you stop lighting money on fire. One warning before we start though, later in this video there's a mistake that I have to tell you about. The single most expensive thing that I've done in 14 years of running accounts, and it was all my fault. It cost the client real money, and almost every budget video skips past it because it makes the expert look bad. It might be the only part that actually matters, so stay for it. For a bit of context, I'm Michael. I run AdTrain, a Google Premier Partner agency, 14 years, over $150 million in ad spend managed, and that money taught me one thing about budgets that I'll never unlearn. Two clients, the same platform. One pays 200 times more than the other. Why? A medical negligence solicitor, $80 a click. 80, one click. And then an e-commerce store selling printed t-shirts, 40 cents per click. But it's the same auction, the same Google. Neither of them was being ripped off. That's the part that matters the most. The solicitor's customers, they're worth tens of thousands of dollars. The t-shirt buyer, he's worth 20 bucks maximum. The more one customer is worth, the more everybody will pay to reach them. Your industry sets your price of entry before you've spent a single dollar. So the first thing I do on a new account isn't set budget. I price the battlefield. I open the keyword planner and other third-party tools, pull the real cost per click for the user's industry, the exact market, and look at who's already live in their industry. 10 minutes of work and it tells you more than any guru's magic number ever will. Run the maths. $1,000 a month at $8 a click buys you 125 clicks. At $80 a click, that same 1,000 buys 12. 12 clicks isn't a test. It's a coin toss. So the real question was never, how much can I afford? It's how much does meaningful data cost in my industry? You don't need to outspend anybody. You need enough clicks for the numbers to mean something. And meaningful data is exactly where the biggest budget mistake I see lives. Because the problem is almost never that people spend too little. A company came to me ready to spend $50,000 a month. In month one, real revenue, ready to sign. Most agencies would have bitten their hand off at that price. It looked like a dream client on the outside. It was a live grenade because Google's bidding runs on machine learning. And in month one, the machine knows nothing about your customer. Nothing. Connecting the two is critical. Every bidding decision it makes at that stage is a guess. Pour 50 grand into guesses and you don't get 10 times the results. You pay 10 times more for the same mistakes. So we didn't. Month one, 12 grand. Controlled. 4 high intent campaigns, clean tracking, feeding machine exactly the data that it needed. By month 4, they were spending the full 50 grand profitably because now the machine knew where to point it. Same money, different order, completely different result. Month 1 is the trickiest month in any account that I have ever run, whether they've run ads before or not. And big budgets, well, they don't fix that. So stop thinking that throwing money at it is the answer. More money just makes the learning phase more expensive. Now, there is one type of business where dropping 20, 50, even 100 grand in month 1 is the right call. It's rare, but it's real. And you'll know exactly who it is in a minute. First, what does controlled actually mean in dollars? Before I give you the brackets, guys, please do something for me. Drop 2 things in the comments, your industry and your monthly budget. I read them and it'll be worth it because I'll tell you straight, competitive, invisible, or you're overfeeding the machine. No pitch, just the exact answer because I can see the click prices for your market and you probably can't. Bracket 1 is for small local businesses or small e-commerce stores. If that's you, this is where you fall in. $1,000 to $2,500 a month for the first 2 to 3 months minimum. We took on a local trades company at $1,500 a month, enough to buy real click volume in their area, small enough that a rough first month was a lesson, not a wound. At their click prices, $1,500 bought roughly 200 clicks a month, enough for the numbers to mean something in the algorithm and to the business. That's the test for this bracket. Can you survive month 1 being mediocre? Because it very well might be. Bracket 2, mid-sized businesses, $5,000 to $10,000 a month. A law firm that we ran ads for started at 8. Enough to compete on their most profitable case types without betting the quarter on an algorithm still learning their customer. Same logic as bracket 1, bigger battlefield. Bracket 3, the whale. The exception that I promised you earlier on. Big brand, big revenue, zero search history. That business can justify 20 to 100 grand a month from day one. I'm going to put an example of a client that I launched last month on the screen now to showcase that happening in real time. Because brand demand cushions the learning phase. People are already searching for them by name and their products. The machine isn't just guessing, it's harvesting from data that they already have. If that's you, you already know it, trust me. Everybody else, 95%, 98% of you, the whale rules don't apply. Borrowing a whale budget on a small brand account is how month 1 becomes a funeral. And the line that gets me in trouble, but you need to hear it, if anybody quotes you a budget without auditing you first and doing a research document, they're guessing with your money. There is no universal number. Not even these brackets have given you a universal. There's your click price, your margin, and a bracket that fits. But the bracket is only half of it. I've watched the right budget die inside the wrong account, and it happens the same way every single time. 7 services on the website, 1 in the ad account. That was the entire strategy for the trades company from bracket 1. The $1,500 a month client. And this is why they hit a $38 cost per lead by month 3. Almost everyone does the opposite. 8 services, 8 campaigns. Feels thorough. And the budget gets sliced so thin that no single campaign ever collects enough conversions to learn anything. 8 campaigns are quietly starving. The account isn't failing, it's fragmenting. We picked their most profitable service, 1, gave it the entire budget with a granular structure and let it stack conversions until the machine understood who exactly buys. Then, and only then, opened service number 2, with an algorithm that already knew the customer. Service 2 didn't start from 0. It inherited everything Service 1 had learned. And the budget, well, that never changed. Not $1 more. We just stopped asking one budget to do 8 jobs at once. Small budgets don't fail because they're small. They fail because they are scattered. Now, the part that I warned you about earlier in the video. The most expensive mistake that I've ever made, and it could very well transfer over to you. Early in my career, I had an account that looked incredible 10 days in. The cost per lead was low, conversions were climbing, and the client was thrilled. There was a lot of pressure on me in week 2 to scale the spend. So I did it. I scaled it hard. I tripled the budget overnight because the data looked so good and I wanted to be the hero. I wanted to be the match winner. Here's what I didn't understand yet. 10 days is not data. The algorithm hadn't learned anything. It had gotten lucky. And the moment that I flooded it with budget, I forced it to make 10 times the decisions on the same thin information. The cost per lead didn't just rise, it quadrupled in a week. I burned a month of that client's budget in 9 days with almost nothing to show for it. It was their money. And I had to get on a call and explain that the results I'd shown them a week earlier were gone. And it was my fault. I nearly lost the account. Probably deserved to. I was very early on in my career, but it taught me the rule this whole video is built on. You don't scale on hope. You scale on evidence. Big money into a machine that hasn't learned yet doesn't buy speed. It buys expensive mistakes faster. Most advertisers pick a number that feels safe. They pray you're not most advertisers anymore. Whether you're the owner signing the budget off or the marketer defending it upstairs, you're now the one in the room who knows how the number actually gets built. If you've enjoyed this video, go and check this one out here. I'll catch you there.